My name is Theda, and I weigh and measure 3 meals a day off that gray sheet. I write them down. I commit them to my sponsor. I don't eat in between no matter what. Abstinence is the most important thing I do in a day, and I do it with the blessing of a power greater than myself. And I always get nervous when I'm speaking. It doesn't matter how many years or whatever. And I always say, what if this time I don't say the right thing? What if, and this is recorded, and I go into all the crazy. And then my voice says, all anyone cares about is how do you stay abstinent? That's what we're all here for. We're not really here for anything else, just that. So if you stick to the rules, you'll be fine. So I'm going to stick to the rules. And the rules is that I can see there's people who've been here for a while and people starting out and counting days. One of the things I do to sustain my program is I stay every month in the month that we're in with the step. And I turn that food, it's like a game for me, and I turn it in to not so much always about emotions, but what am I doing with my food? So I just want you to stay with me, even if it's day 1, and I'll walk you through this. It really works. 5 is admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being, the exact nature of our wrongs. Okay? The exact nature of my disease. I am unable to stop eating. Dear God, help me. And when I go into those rooms, let me keep my mouth shut and do whatever they tell me to do. I always start out there because that's where I had to start off when I walked into these rooms years ago. Just do what they say. You don't have to tell them how smart you are, all the different things you've done in your life, everything, unimportant. It is about staying in the food, staying out of food. Here's what it says. The dammed up emotions of years break out of their confinement and miraculously vanish as soon as they are exposed. As the pain subsides, a healing tranquility takes its place. And when humility and serenity are so combined, okay, something else of great moment is apt to occur, okay? It is about openness and honesty. And here's how it is about the food. I was dammed up with unable to be, I couldn't stop eating. And I couldn't understand it. And I did go to all the other programs and they worked for other people. Here's what happened. It didn't work for me. But when I walked into GreySheet and I was open, honest, and willing to just hear, right? To just hear and not go, oh, I don't have to bring my scale to a, all of that, you know? When I didn't have to agree with everything you say, I just had to do it. I didn't have to have what you had. I mean, somebody shared, and this is an example, and it is an important example. Somebody said, when they came in, they were a vegan and they were like, oh, I can't do this program. And I was like, I can sit and say, oh, they're vegan, that's not me. Or I can say, wow, they were able to overcome something that they thought wouldn't work, but they did it. It is about opening my head, mind, and soul to a different way of being. And I know that when we walk in, all we want to do is lose weight. I get it. And I know this is a beginner's meeting, but I actually gave you a beginning. I actually gave it to you. And it really is whatever I was thinking before, the dammed up emotions of years broke open when I stopped trying to make you like me, try to understand what you're saying, and just do what's in front of me to do. That's when it says their confinement and miraculously vanish. I get my food on that scale, and each day I put it on that scale, and I don't worry about, oh, I really want to eat. Of course I want to eat. I'm an addict. Don't eat. That's what I did, right? What am I going to all of a sudden this miracle is going to come down and you're never going to want to eat again? That's not my story. Maybe it's somebody else's. But guess what I know is if I listen to you and I show up, something miraculous happens. I get freedom. I get a freedom. And it says here, when humility and serenity are so combined, something else of great moment is apt to occur. You know what occurred? Is I found a way of being that was able to open up my life to other possibilities. And it started with putting my food on the scale. And it starts with never leaving these rooms. And I'm going to say something else, and I don't mean it to hurt people's feelings or just kind of dismiss what we do now, but I have to tell you, when I walked into the rooms a long time ago, when someone said, call me on time, I called them on time. It was the beginning of being respectful of myself and them, because that's what they said. When they said, just give me your food, I take food. Remember, I'm sure all these things are important to you, but I am not a shrink. But I can help you if we stay with these tools. That taught me respect, again, for myself, honoring who I am and the other person, not personal, not personal. And maybe I can try that, since bitching about how, sorry if I offend you, I have a gutter mouth. And, maybe if I tried something different would work. They said, go to meetings. I went to meetings. They said nothing in the first year. Get the foundation, get used to it. I know we say, get in the middle of the herd, raise your hand all the time, do all, and those things are working. I'm not saying they're not. I'm not talking against them. What I am saying, for me, I tell everyone, show up. Show up and listen, because if me, Theda, doesn't say anything, someone else will. It's about sitting here. It's about just moving the needle. All the damned up emotions with food, they can dissipate if we just not overthink. And I overthought it. I had to know it. No, I don't. I just have to do it. There's something very different about that, It's not a list that I check off. I know we sent all these emails out, and I talked about this in Connecticut a couple of weeks ago. Who's speaking? Who's there? Who's that? When I came in, doesn't matter who's speaking. Doesn't matter. Here's what the big book actually says. It isn't me saying this stuff. I use our literature because that's what I was told. It says right here. Wait. When I focus on what's good today, here it is. But when I try to see what I can add to the meeting rather than what I can get out of it, oh my God. And when I focus my mind on what's good about it rather than what's wrong with it, the meeting keeps getting better and better. I don't give a shit who's speaking. I am so sorry. And I know when you want to text me, thank you. It's cute. I get it. But let me tell you something. When you stay here, it doesn't matter who's speaking at 3, somebody will speak at 4, somebody will speak at 5, and you'll get what you're supposed to get. It is about being honest. And the honesty is, I don't care. The openness is that you can walk in an hour and tell me your story, and I will get something from it because I am an addict when it comes to food. You have the experience of walking in. Then that's all we do. That's it. We walk in. It says, read the literature. I read the literature. I don't have opinions. Like when people say, oh, this has happened. I look in the book, because if I'm not looking in one of these books to get an answer, then I'm telling you what the hell I thought. And guess what? What I thought brought me out here, okay? What I thought. I call it my armor. For me, this program was life or death. I couldn't eat anymore. I was choking to death. I was dying, but it didn't mean.
Theda, 10 minutes, 5 minutes left.
Thank you. Thank you. And it didn't mean that I could stop eating just because I was choking to death or dying because I was an addict. Doesn't mean I was going to stop. It just means that I was so sick and tired. And then I got more sick and tired. And then I just said, either let go. And I did say this, kill me or change me, because I can't take it anymore. I can't. And that's where I was. And I said, if I go up, if I go down, I don't care. I want to stop eating. It isn't a diet. I already did all the other programs. It's not a diet for me. It is about not eating compulsively or under eating or making you wrong for all the horrible things you did. Well, I would have if only. No, the only thing I need to do is, and I'm going to say this, it's going to hurt other people's feelings. Yes, I want you to fill out the census, but more than that, I want you to weigh and measure your food and help another compulsive overeater by telling your story. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. I don't have to run after you and make this program right for you. I need to stay here and do it right for me. It's attraction, not promotion. I don't need to promote it. The fact that I'm still sitting here, and if I make it on the 26th, it'll be 25 years that I sat here. And it isn't because I cared who spoke. It isn't because you picked up. It isn't because you had 150 day ones. It is because of all of those things I just said yes to and didn't make them a moral freaking issue. It just is. We come in where we come in. We stay where we stay. And you're thinking it's not a newcomer's because all you can think about is food or getting the next day. That's okay. Be okay. Call 3 people and someone will agree with you. It's okay. It really is. But for me, it is putting my food on that scale and loving you no matter where you are within your journey of finding the solution. That's what it is. It doesn't matter if you eat something different than I eat. I eat the same thing. Sorry, I eat the same thing every day. My food is boring. I'm not going to lie. I'll start wrapping it up at that. And I have a scale every place. Like I'm neurotic. That's the truth. That's why I do all of this stuff, because I'm neurotic. And in 5 minutes, I can hurt your feelings by saying something. Right? But the bottom line is everybody who knows me has to have a scale in their car, or I can't get in your car. I also have 2 in my bag just in case, because I don't like confinement, so it gives me freedom. And I've done that all over the place. I always call somebody and I always pick up in case somebody wants to make a change.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm not a great sponsor. I get lost and I get unfocused and I do a lot of that. But what I am is a loving, kind person who puts her food on the scale and does the best she can. And what I am today is abstinent and grateful. What I'll be later on today will be abstinent and grateful. My mind may change, the speech may change, everything may change, I doubt it. But the bottom line is keep coming back. It works if you work it. And it starts with being honest. I am a compulsive addict in all areas. And I'm willing to be open to anything that gives me relief from this disease, one day at a time. And on that, I thank you. Did I stay in my 15 minutes?
Yes, you did.